Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the Fall Major Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can also get the text guides by go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We do have other packages as well, so check it out. I've been working a ton with new visuals here for this playthrough and for playthroughs going forward obviously, and you can see on the right hand side you will see an information box where you can find the elevation adjustment first for the first shot, then for the second shot. Then underneath that we're going to have the balls that I do suggest going to be good to be playing with. Then on the bottom I will be adding specific clubs that I think is going to be key clubs for that specific hole that we're talking about. And obviously I'm here for questions. If you're watching this as a premiere, make sure that you comment in the chat and I will be there. Also, if you're watching this one afterwards, make sure that you comment in the comment section below. And I hope you're going to enjoy the video here. Don't forget to hit thumbs up if you do that. So let's freaking go and get some booms in the chat. For hole 1, we're going to start by going straight down the middle. Power 3 ball. I do change to a katana thinking like, should I go with that one? No, I change back to a power 3 ball. Max topspin, which is going to be 4.5 bar with the XMI level 7, and also 4.5 bar side spin to the right. The side spin is something you can choose whatever you feel comfortable with. I often use side spin to the right as I have a tendency to hit great left when I take my shot. Max overpower, get it down there, 20% extra, have that in mind. And we do want to get the ball past the trees on the left hand side to have an open shot towards the pin and therefore a decent opportunity for an eagle. Now for the second shot, you can see that I have listed the Goliath, I've listed the Saturn, and the reason I've done that is because we do want to have backspin. Minimum 5.5 5.5 backspin. We aim for the pin, and as we do not have a good ball guideline here, we cannot use the back end of the green as the ball guideline will not show us anything. And therefore we do have, or I do have, a version where I lay up and go with a sniper with the funnel shot on the back end of the green, or at least attempting it, trying to make it work. Getting it close. And in the end, this could be a very good possibility for an eagle going straight down the middle. But if you want to choose an approach where you don't have to go with overpower for your drive, and you're going to still have no problem whatsoever getting the birdie with actually a good chance for an eagle, this is the way to go. First, we're just going to play without spin when we do have tailwind. If we do have headwind, I would consider adding a 1, 2 or 3 bar stop spin to just get it down there. 20% extra, maximum distance, get it down before the bunkers, and you can see the ball basically stopped. Why is that? Look now when it zooms in, look how uphill this position is here by the bunker. So if you just get it down there, the ball is going to stop and position itself at the same spot, or approximately exactly the same spot all the time. And that is a shot that came out the last time we played this hole in the tournament. And this is definitely something that we will bring to our advantage playing like this in the tournament as well. Because lay up here, now we are able to use the back end of the green and using a good ball guideline. And in my opinion, that's going to be a better and a more consistent type of way of approaching the green than going on the right hand side and going more aggressive. But don't forget though that now we play the drive with a 20% over adjustment. If you for some reason are totally making a mess out of your drive and you go into the sand, you will not be able to reach for the green in 2 most likely. So have that in mind, please. Second shot, 10% over adjustment, exactly as it were when we played the first version of this hole. And now I'm going to try to look for the back end of the green, the funnel. But at the same time here, I do make a slight mistake here, is that I do go and aim for the green. We do want the first bounce to be on the fairway before the fringe, before the green, and don't go that far up that we're doing here now. Sure, we get the ball guideline and that's fine, but at the same time we do have a tailwind, and if I do under adjust this shot, which I do, then I'm going to have a massive problem to actually get the ball to fall down. It's still going to be an easy birdie, but at the same time we cannot let this ball go too long. But I think you know what I'm referring to when playing this type of shot. So for hole number 2, we are going to catch the funnel, and the funnel we catch by playing the rough bump. And it might sound very risky, but it's not that risky, because if you're gonna get an hole in one on this one, you're gonna have to play the rough bump. That's just how it is. So use the proper amount of topspin. Let's go. Let us get it to the hole. Here you can also play with a more wind resistance ball and play with a driver, but I would consider playing with a sniper as we do have a better control. Aim for the rough bump, 30% extra, due to that we're playing massively downhill and the ball is then going to be affected more by the wind. If you do have a headwind, choose a kingmaker, reduce the wind, otherwise a titan will be fine. And you can see we catch the funnel, getting it in there, getting very, very close. So for hole number 3, we're going to start by noticing that we're not gonna play with any elevation for the drive. Max topspin and as much side spin to the right possible, because we do want to come into the other fairway on the right hand side. As you can see already here, it slopes from right down to the left. So it's very important that we do give ourselves some side spin to the right here, so we prevent from going into the rough or into the sand on the left hand side. Use the driver that gives you the most topspin, combined obviously with some power. So I like a quarterback. It's not gonna be any option here, because then we're not gonna have the topspin, we're not gonna have the distance. Big topper might, if you do want to play with a power 3, power 5 ball in tailwind. Otherwise, I would say using extra mile, apocalypse, Thor's hammer, the whatever club that gives you the most topspin is going to be the club for you to play with. But that doesn't mean that if you play with a lower level club with less topspin that you won't be able to reach for the green. You will still be able to reach, no problem whatsoever. A final thing with the drive is that we do have a wind 6 miles per hour plus with a power 3 ball. I would try to attempt the shot our opponent did. Otherwise, I will not risk that, because, you know, with a low wind, and if we just clip the rough, we might be unlucky and not being able to reach for the green in 2. Second shot, 10% extra, which means we play downhill, so the ball is going to be affected slightly more than normal. We use the max backspin shot, and here I can do that with a sniper 10, I can do it with a sniper 9, and most likely with a sniper 8 as well. But if you do not have that club in that level, use the guardian, use the backspin on the guardian, so you at least can go for the pin. If you use the backhand or if you bounce directly up, that's totally up to you. So for hole number 4, we're going to play with the Goliath here, giving yourself half a bar of backspin and as much side spin to the right possible. And that's why a katana here is very, very valuable. And sure, you can play with a kingmaker if you want to, but it's definitely enough with a katana. And here, have in mind that I play with the Goliath instead of the Grizzly, Backbone, Saturn. Reason is because we do get more distance with the Goliath, and we would otherwise have a massive gap, and in between club gap, playing with another long iron. If we do have a headwind, we play with a sniper. Otherwise, we're going to play maximum distance plus 10 with any form of tailwind and crosswind with our Goliath. So for hole number 5, we are going to try to go for green when we do have a tailwind, even though we have a driver like the extra mile level 7, which only has 4.5 bar topspin. We, like in the best case scenario, we want to have at least 6 bars topspin, and now I'm talking about like an apocalypse, Thor's hammer, extra mile level 8, so try to get a driver like that. If you don't have one, then we will still have to give it a go, but then I would maybe suggest you to play with a berserker ball. If we do have a crosswind or a headwind, we cannot reach down here from the hill. So then we just have to lay up, and then the katana would be the best option. But if you're gonna try to go down the hill here like I'm doing, use a Titan, Kingmaker, or maybe in that case a Berserker to give yourself more wind and a better opportunity getting it down there. There is a risk here by doing that aggressive shot, obviously, and that is that you can see the trees that is in the center of the fairway, and our opponent's gonna get there, and he is lucky to get this ball to roll through the rough a little bit, so he's not having any tree in his face. But if you do an aggressive shot like this, and you get into the rough, you will sometimes be very unlucky to get stuck behind a tree, and then it's going to be almost game over getting a birdie, as you kind of have to lay up and then shoot from distance. Last but not least, if you are going to play from the hill like you're shooting down, let's say we have a crosswind, we have a headwind, and we have to lay up. Then we have a 30% over adjustment. And that 30% means that you need to add to your adjustment as you play downhill, and the ball is then going to be affected by the wind more. Thorn, Hornet, your Falcon, whatever short iron you might want if you play from the hill there. But in the end, this will be a good opportunity for an eagle. So for hole number 6, we are going to start by saying with a tailwind in any form, we play straight forward. With a headwind in any form, we play out to the right. And if we do need to play out to the right, we're just gonna see that as an eagle route. If we play straight forward like this and having the wind for it, we definitely have a chance for the albatross. 20% extra for the drive. We use 4.5 bar topspin, max overpower, and obviously the stronger the wind is, the less overpower you need to use. But have in mind that at least you need to use overpower to get it out there. If you do have a higher level driver like Apocalypse 6, Thor's Hammer 6, don't use full topspin, then you will fly over that fairway and into the rough, and that's not gonna be fun. All from 1 to 4 bars topspin, depending on how far you are from the pin. We go for a rough bump, minus 10%. And that means that with this particular shot, the ball is going to be less affected by the wind than normal, and therefore we need to play it with a minus 10%. If you count the rings, you're gonna notice that I don't do that. But that's why we are changing. Because I over adjust my shot by playing it just with a normal elevation. Bounce in the rough, roll out, and if you're lucky, get the albatross. So for hole number 7, we do have 2 ways of playing this hole. One is that we go on the right hand side, which we're going to do in this example. First it's going to be our opponent's turn, then it's going to be ours. When we play on the right hand side, there is a couple of things to think of here. Is first, play with a club that gives you a good ball guideline, which is going to be the sniper. If you do have another club, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to read how the ball is going to act while bouncing on that sloped fairway on the right. We are also going to play it 15% extra. So that means that the ball is going to be affected more by the wind, and we need to think about that while we're playing so we don't mess up. So once it's our turn now, we're going to see that we play with a power 1 ball, a Quasar. But here on the right hand side, we don't really need that much side spin. The side spin is going to be more valuable playing on the left side, which is we are going to do in just a bit. 1 bar backspin, 1 bar right spin, ball guideline to the hole. But now we come to a tricky part. When we do have a left to right type of wind, it's going to be extremely tough for us to find a way to pull these rings. So in the end, I do need to zoom out a little bit and try to do my best without seeing the rings. Or I will have to turn it around and push my rings instead. But then we do have the slope that is going to prevent me from doing that in an accurate way. So in the end, my suggestion is to play on the left hand side for a more consistent result. But sure, we can get close, as you can see here. If we go left hand side, then we do want to have at least 5 bars backspin on our club. If we don't have that on our sniper, we're gonna change and play with the Guardian. And the trick here for us now is to use as much side spin to the right possible, and we do want to leave approximately 5 reins of distance from the rough line. Just make sure that if we mess up that we don't go short. Now we do need to apply something that I don't really like to apply on par 3s, and that is curl. But we do need to apply a little bit more because we do want to get the ball to get on the right side of the pin, getting up to the top right of the green and fall down. Exactly like this, but we're coming in on the left side of the pin instead. And this is how we play hole 7. So for hole 8, we're gonna play with either the Big Topper, Thor's Hammer or the Apocalypse, whatever club that gives us the most topspin. And here the Thor's Hammer level 6 is in my opinion better than the Big Topper because it has a better accuracy. So if I hit great, it's not going to be that bad as it is with the Big Topper. Max topspin, get the ball guide line through the 2 trees there and get it to bounce into the rough, roll out on the fairway, giving yourself a very easy wedge for an eagle. This is going to be, in whatever type of wind you're gonna have, an absolute must eagle. Sure, in a headwind, you're most likely gonna find yourself getting a more like a bad bounce in the rough, but that is because we do have a compressed ball guideline, and therefore topspin is so important. So this was hole number 8. Get that eagle because it's going to be a must if you're gonna have something to do with winning this tournament. So for hole 9, I'm going to show you 2 types of drives. First, one with the Big Topper, where I strongly suggest you to play with a Berserker instead of playing with a power 3 ball like the Titan. It is possible though, playing with a Titan with a higher level Big Topper, but at the same time, why should we even try to gamble with overpower when we're playing with a Big Topper? Playing with a Big Topper in overpower is always risky because of its low accuracy. So when we are hitting great with a Big Topper, the ball is going to fly left or it's going to fly right. Obviously with a perfect, then it doesn't really matter. But to prevent the risk of having a very bad shot with a Big Topper, make sure you play with a power 5 ball, give yourself the distance so you don't have to overpower. Second drive here is going to be with an extra mile. It only has 6 bars topspin, but you're gonna notice that it's absolutely possible to play with this club as well. And I would once again try to play with a driver that gives me the most topspin, which in this case would be the Big Topper. But the bad part with the Big Topper and a power 5 ball will be that the power 5 ball will have more wind for the second shot than we will have now, making this possible with a power 3 ball. So you have to decide what you feel the most comfortable with, going with a club that gives you more distance but less topspin for the drive, and then the second shot is going to be a little bit longer but the wind is going to be a little bit less. No elevation for the drive, and then we're going to leave up a second shot here where we can play with a sniper in a tailwind but also most likely in a crosswind. But if we do have any form of headwind, we're most likely need to change club. Or if you do feel uncomfortable with the drive, play with a different club that gives you more distance. Cataclysm or a Big Dog is 2 different options. That would be a better suggestion if so. But if you feel comfortable with the drive, the sniper will definitely give you the best chance getting a drop for an albatross. Now, playing on the right hand side, there is a fairway on the right with the drive. That we only do if we do have a headwind for our drive, because then we won't reach as far as we want to with our drive to get the rough bump on the left hand side. Tough par 5, but it's going to be fine, and we're gonna get it close, as you see, for an albatross on hole number 9 of the Eagle Peak. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division before the tournament starts, which means that we do not have the wind as we most likely will have in the tournament. But it's an idea. I give you thoughts, my suggestions on how to play it. Hope you enjoy the new visuals. Please let me know in the comment section below what you think. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and if you do want to get the text guides for the Fall Major, but for any other tour that you might be playing, check out the packages we do have on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link in the video description down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit thumbs up and good luck in the tournament.